What we're going to look at in this video is how you can test Dynamics 365 instances where you have to go through the login flow that includes dealing with the 2FA through an OTP token. So we're going to show you how you can handle that. And what we're going to do is firstly go in, and what I've got is a Dynamics 365 project set up. I've created an environment with my URL, my username, and my password as variables. So now when I create my first goal, and we'll call this Dynamics 365, and I create my first journey, we'll see that when we run this, we get the sign-in screen. So we can say, let's put in a flow for login, and we could say, wait for sign-in, and then we're going to write our username that's coming from the environment in the email, phone, or Skype. And then we're going to go ahead and click on next. And then we get to the next page where we have to enter the password. So let's write our password in password. And then we click on sign in. And the next step you get to is going to be, it will ask you for an OTP code. So you can see in this case, I've got to go and get a code. So what I've got to do here is, this is assuming that you've got Authenticator app set up. Now, if yours goes through to a different, for instance, single sign-on, an Active Directory, or other method, then what I'm going to show is how you can enable to use your Authenticator app, because this is what Virtuoso supports. So what we actually need to do is go across into the Dynamics instance, and then we're going to come across into our user and view account. Then we're going to go into our security info, and we're going to update info. And assuming, remember, this should be for the user that you are testing with. And then what we can do is we can add a sign-in method. Now this may require you to go to an administrator of Dynamics to be able to enable you to do this. But for the user, they should be able to come into the account and add a sign-in method. And the method I'm going to use is Authenticator app, and I'm going to add that. You could use the Microsoft Authenticator. Equally, you could use Google Authenticator. I'm going to say I want to use a different Authenticator app. I'm going to click Next. And then importantly, normally you have to scan the QR code. But what I'm going to say is I can't scan the QR code. And what I should get is the account name and the secret key. So now what I'm going to do is come into I'm going to use Google Authenticator. So I'm going to show some screenshots on screen. So in Google Authenticator, you'll click to a new account, so add an account and enter a setup key. Then you're going to write the account name as you saw on the screen inside Dynamics, together with the secret key that you see on screen, and then you can add that in. Now the important thing as well, we want to take a copy of the secret key. So we take that down and we can note that down somewhere to one side. And what you're going to do then is click on next, and it will ask you to enter the code from your Authenticator app one time. So this is a one-time setup just to connect the Authenticator app with your Dynamics account. Okay. So now what we're going to do is come back to Virtuoso, and in the link to this video, you'll see that there are some links for an extension, a natural language extension you're going to add in. And so depending on the environment you're in, app2, app, which is our production, or app-us, which is our US instance, click on the link. So I'm going to click on the one for app2. And what this is going to do, it's going to add a natural language extension to handle dealing with OTP, an authenticator. So I'm going to add that in. And so basically this has added an extension. And you'll see in here that what this is going to do is actually call across into the Authenticator app using the secret key, and is going to get an OTP code for us. So what I'm going to do is come across into my environment, and you can see the variable I want is OTP key. And I'm going to add a variable, which will be OTP key. And then what I'm going to do is paste in that secret key that I got from Dynamics that I entered into the Authenticator app. And I'm going to mark this as sensitive to keep it secure. So now with that set up, basically what I've got is I've got Authenticator linked to my Microsoft Dynamics account. I've got the secret key in Virtuoso. So what I can do now is come back to the login page. Let's run this from beginning. and it will go through the steps. So these are the ones I wrote for signing in. It's going to write the username, write the password. And then what I want to do is I want to call my Authenticator, which is my D365 Authenticator, returning OTP. Let's just put open and close brackets there. And so what this does, this calls across into the Authenticator app, and it will get me the OTP code. And then I can say write OTP in code, and then click on verify. And what this will do, it will basically log me in, go and get the OTP code. It's verified my account, and then I can just say click on yes, and then you can see I'll be able to log in to my Dynamics 365 instance. In this case, I'm using the sales module, but this would work for instance, finance or other modules of Dynamics 365. So that's how you can set up your Authenticator app in your Dynamics instance and then call across to get an OTP code to be able to follow the login flow in Virtuoso.